Hello, 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 everybody. Coach Hadassah here, metaphysician, personal development coach, wellness entrepreneur, and proud founding member of Extreme FX Global Academy, where Bitcoin and Forex collide because that's where the money resides. Okay. I don't know why I had to feel like I had to break out in song a little bit, but maybe it was to get my spirits up a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to say I've been dragging today, but I kind of been dragging a little bit. Kind of been dragging a little bit today. N- Uh, but I was still able to get some stuff done that I really had been putting that stuff off. And I said that I was putting it off because it's not on my urgent list. Like I get the list done that's urgent. But you know, it was some non-income producing activities. However, they do need to be done, or else it would just pile up and nobody else is going to do them. And yeah, so I had to get that done and out the way. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not feeling any type of way like, something's wrong or whatever. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's the feel of the day. I kind of think that that's what it is, and I don't know why. But listen, today it is Wealthy Wednesday, right? And today we're going to talk about wellness because it's Wealthy Wednesday. And you all always hear me say what wealth means, right? What wealth means. The root word of wealth is will, and it means well-being, it means welfare, it means to will, W-I-L-L, to will. And you cannot will anything without good health. Well-being includes your health. Okay, so we will talk about that today on this Wealthy Wednesday because yeah, it's some things going around, and you know I mean, it's not just today that this has just been it's a thing. That's just what it is. It's a thing. And we hear it often, and I remember when we were being drilled like that. um and I think about it in my I don't want to necessarily like I don't want to necessarily say my early 20s, but definitely in my 30s, when I really started going hard in the network marketing industry. And it's something that is just like drilled into us, and I did it. That's the thing about it, and that's why I want to talk about it, because I did it. And then I saw how it worked against me and how it was working against others, but they didn't realize it. And being in the wellness industry, and the things that we know and learn and all of that, I'm like, whoa, we were freaking killing ourselves. And it's not worth it, because you do not have wealth without your health, period. And a lot of people are suffering some health conditions now because of things that they did prior in their early life or early days. And you don't start really seeing those health issues rise up until like after 40, maybe. And I won't even say after 40, really kind of like after 50, they start springing up. And you think it just happened today or something. And it's like, no, it wasn't overnight. That started happening like way long time ago, and now it surfaced. So we're going to get into that. I have to talk about that as in my profession. With what I do, I have to talk about that. So but before I get into all of that, um I want to let me change this banner really quick. Want to tell you all about the Coach's Corner today with myself and Coach Cotton at 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. Coach Cotton and I will come on and we're going to do the Coach's Corner. It's basically us coming together as coaches. You know, I'm a personal development coach too. However, right, I'm more into well, I'm certified health and wellness coach, right? But I do have those other skill sets under my belt as well. And then Coach Cotton, she's a personal development coach. And so, you know, what coaches do is we help people get to their next level. So that's what we're going to do at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Usually, this is where people are, you know, probably like commuting from the workday and from their jobs to home and all of that good stuff. And so, hey, you could tune in, you can listen. Because the things that we'll talk about is really just helping you get to your next level, because that's what coaches do. We help you to get to your next level, right? And there's many different styles of coaching, you know, like Coach Cotton said, you know, the last time when we did our live on Monday, she's like, you know, what I do as a coach is I ask you a whole bunch of questions, you know, and that is what we do when we do our one-on-one coaching, right? Because we want to help you to find your answers, because your answers are within you. That's the reason why we ask the questions, you know. So I ask the questions, but then I also put something on people's minds, right? It's like, I want you to think about this, right? Meditate on this. And then I'm going to nudge you like a hard, you know, like a nudge, right? So that's what we do. So tune in to the Coach's Corner. We'll be back again, you know, at those hours that you see down there. And you want to go to, now we'll be streaming here live on Facebook, right? We're also streaming on YouTube. So if you're there, you can watch there too. But we will also be on Zoom. So for those of you who want to tune in on Zoom to be more interactive, then, you know, where you have a chance to like speak, you know, ask some questions that we can answer for you, speak, all that kind of stuff, then you want to make sure that you tune in on Zoom. So what you're going to do is go to thecoachescorner.com and then enter the password power in all caps. That's it. Thecoachescorner.com, enter in the password power in all caps, and you'll be right there with us in Zoom. Okay? All right. So now let me go back to this banner, and we're going to get into this, you know, wealth topic about wellness. Okay? So I always start with what is wealth? Right? What is wealth? It means welfare. It means well-being. It means wholeness. It means to will. You have to have energy to will. You do. You have to have energy to will. You have to have a whole lot when you basically hone in on all of the universal energies that are available to you in order to will whatever that is for you into being or to existence. Okay? But you're using your energy forces in your body. The energy flows through your body in order for you to move forth, to execute, because you're not just sitting there like, you know, I'm willing. No. Will requires execution, right? But you need energy to do that. Now we have everything is energy. It really is. Everything is energy, and we all have just and I don't want to say individually, but according to our astrological makeup, right? Now I'm gonna give an example of that. Like, say I'm an Aries, okay? That's my sun sign. I'm an Aries. My birthday is coming up. I'm gonna invite you out to my birthday party too. It's on Zoom. It's Friday. Remind me to tell you something about that when we're about to close out. But okay, so I'm an Aries. Whoop-de-doo. a whole lot of people are Aries that's born in between in between what, March 21st to about April, I think it's April 20th, April 19th, 20th. Is it 19th or the 20th? Somewhere around there. Y'all know, right? So many people born through from in that 30-day period. Okay. So your sun sign, that's just like the basic character of positives and negatives, because everything is positive and negative. And negative doesn't mean bad. It just means it's receptive. It's, it takes away, or it's receptive. It needs to be filled with something. It needs to be filled with what? Positive. That's all that is. Okay. So, but that's the sun. The sun is a luminary. The moon is a luminary, right? And then we have planets, which is really stars. But for the sake of this talk or whatever, there's a snapshot when everybody's born of where the planets were in varying degrees and all of that type of stuff in the heavens. When you took your first breath of life, you breathed in all of that energy, right? When like the scriptures say, and he breathed the breath, breathe, not blew, but breathe in the breath of life through his nostrils. So when we're born and we breathed in the breath of life through our nostrils, we breathed in that energy, in that alignment of what was taking place in the heavens. So that's our energy that we're moving through this life with. Now, as we continue to grow and develop, then, we grow and develop based on still some astrological movements and some experiences that we have, and all of that. But we still have that basic energy that we breathed in, that life force. So was it just the sun there? No, the moon was in a certain place. So you have a moon sign. So say, for instance, my moon sign is Pisces in a certain degree in a certain house, right? So I'm an Aries sun, Aries sun, Pisces moon, Leo rising, right? Leo was on the rise when I was born, because I was born somewhere around noon time. So it was directly in the heavens, just like, hey, bright, right? Um, look, ooh, what else after that? Oh, Mercury is Aries. Uh, Venus is in Taurus. My Venus is in Taurus. So Venus was in the constellation of Taurus the day I was born. Um, Mars was in the constellation of Aquarius. What else? Saturn was in the constellation of Cancer when I was born. Uranus was in the constellation of Scorpio. Um, Neptune was in the constellation of Sagittarius, and Pluto was in the constellation of Libra when I was born. Now, those last three planets were in the constellation of, a lot of people were born during that time, because those are slower moving bodies. So those are considered generational stars or generational planets, because there are many people born over a 7-year period or a 14-year period or a 21 period. That would be the generation X, right? That's that generation. But then you'll hear that term like zennials. Well, that's those that were born not only when Pluto was in Libra, but then Uranus was in Scorpio at that time. It was about to change over. That's what Uranus is. It's about change. So it had dipped. It was in Libra, then it dipped in the Scorpio. Me and a whole bunch of other people was born, maybe like 75, or that was kind of like the beginning of us with that generation. Then it dipped back into Libra, and then it went back into Scorpio, and then kept moving, and lined up with Pluto, and then boom, you got the millennial, right? So we're the kind of ones that were like the change agents before the change agents. So why am I saying all of that? Because all of that energy in its varying degrees in those various houses make up my energy, right? You have that same thing and it makes up your energy. So that's the energy that you have. Here's the thing about it. You have to know how to work that energy. You have to know how to, you know, hone it and make it work for you. Right? Now here's the thing. The body, the physical body, all of that energy is working through this body. Right? Now, this body is physical. This body needs um it needs to be washed. Of course, will stink. So it needs to be washed, right? It needs some activity, so it needs to move. It needs sunlight. It needs, you know, food and water, right? It needs nutrients. It needs the minerals. It needs all of that. Okay. Guess what else it needs? It needs rest. It needs rest. It needs sleep. Because when you go to sleep and you rest your body, that is when your body is healing. It's healing. You don't know the many things that go on throughout the day. Just, I mean, you know, because we don't think about it. We don't, little free radicals and all of that kind of stuff that's going around in the air and the pollution and all of that. A threefold pollution: pollution in the sky, pollution in the, you know, in the earth, pollution in the water. And we don't see these. We're not walking around with little microscopes, so we don't see the little things that just, again, in the air, in the earth, in the water, all of that, that is just attempting to attack our bodies every single day. And what the body is doing in order to ward off or fight off all of those things, and we just going about doing whatever it is that we're doing, right? Now, after the body done did all of that, the immune system, all of those things that we don't have any control over, thank goodness, because if we did, we'd all be dead. Because we so crazy to where we won't stop and rest, right? We won't stop and rest. Huh? Can you have what? You okay now? Now what happened to you? You went out there doing some sprints, and what did you put in your body at all before you went and did that?
Water. I ate
Water. Your body is made up of over about 75% water, and you didn't put any in your body. See what I'm talking about? This boy went out there doing sprints, going hard, and then came in here and fell out on the kitchen floor. Uh-huh. Couldn't hardly breathe. See what I'm saying? That, but we go, oh, it's mind over matter. Okay. All right. And then matter gonna be over your mind when you're sitting somewhere in the freaking hospital, because you won't follow it. Look, listen, it's a law. Now, I'm fussing today. I am. I am. Yes, I am. We're talking about coaches throwing chairs around or whatever. Yep. When it comes to wellness, because guess what? Guess what? You can't do nothing without your body. When you speak, when you talk, right? Your lips are moving, your tongue, right? You have a voice box. That's part of the physical body as well, right? You have to take care of where your soul lives. If it breaks down, your soul has nowhere to live. And it's not that like it's just go, oh, okay, well, we're going to pick up and move into a what? Another body? Now, trust me when I say That does happen. It does happen. But that's a whole nother topic we'd have to get into for a whole nother day, right? We'll get into some spooky things when it comes to, you know, disembodied entities that, you know, feel like that they left their body too soon because of the things that they chose to do, and because they feel like they didn't carry out whatever purpose that they had, and they're restless. They're lingering around this earth without bodies, and guess what they do? They attempt to attach themselves to people who are still living, and then you wonder why somebody got something going on, or whatever. What's wrong with them? Are they crazy? Or they and you don't know how many entities or disembodied spirits is in somebody's body, because you can call me crazy if you want to, but that happens. I know, because I work with stuff like that. And I don't want to work with it, but I work with it. Now, you think that's spooky? Go in the scriptures. What do you think Yahshua was doing that the world calls Jesus Christ? When they say he cast out these spirits, or cast out these demons, or cast out, what was he casting out of people? Disembodied entities that had taken over a body, because they didn't have a body to continue to do what it was that they wanted to do on this earth. But they didn't have anywhere else to go. So they found a body that was open and receptive to them. Remember that parable? The parable where he talked about, like it was a house, and then, you swept and cleaned the house, and then next thing cast out the whatever out the house, and then they swept and cleaned the house, and then so that thing or entity was traveling about, and then went and got those that were even stronger than them, and then came back into the house. So the latter state was worse than the first. That's what he was talking about. You don't want that to be you. You don't want to leave here so soon. You didn't finish carrying out your purpose. And it's all because you didn't take your butt to sleep. And I said it, sleep. Like I heard it being said before, it's 24 hours in a day. Well, it's 12 hours in a day. It's 12 hours in a night. That makes a complete day and night of 24 hours, right? Now, of those 24 that you're given, now I speak for myself. My body won't sleep for any more than 4 hours. No matter what time. If I go to sleep, I'm waking up 4 hours later, and I'm up for 20 hours. I have to do something, right? It's like, okay, what I'm gonna do now? Because I have 20 hours, right? But 4 of those 24 hours, my body I'm shutting down, right? And the only way I could really, really stay up for some time, it got to be some music or something going, like a party, like loud music pumping or whatever. But even in that, it's like, okay, I ain't gonna last that long. About 11, 12 with the party, it's like, okay, I'm going down. I'm about out for the count. Woo, it's been real, y'all. Right? It's been real. But if that's not going on, oh, I'm teetering about 9:30, possibly even 10 o'clock. But shoot, you count that, what, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 10 to 2. I'll be up at 2. That's actually great now that I think about it, because that, I remember I get up for a London session with that, right? That's traders talk. So of course you want to come over here in our community to see what that's all about. because a London session is good when you're trading on the forex market. The London session like me, so I like the London session. Right? It loves me, so I love the London session. Okay, but I'm just saying, like, yes, when we were younger, we needed more hours and all of that. As we get older, we don't need as much, but you need some. You do. You do. You're breaking a law if you don't. What did the creator do? Worked in 6 days, rested in them 7. Rest. Um, the body, like daily. It don't mean stay up for 6 days a week and then go to sleep on the 7th day. But of a 24-hour day and night cycle, four, just four, just four. I don't know. I've been waking up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning since I can remember, to be honest. But it's probably because I went to bed at 9:15, 9:30, something like that. But I'm up 4 hours later. I'm just saying. Now, when I did not do that, right? When I didn't do that, when it was because I don't know, if something happened at that age, 30, in our 30s, when we get there, and next thing you know, it's like we gotta the grant, and which is natural. It's really natural because that goes according to our seasons of life. You know, the spring season of life is from birth to about, I'd say, between 21, 25. No, I'm gonna say 20. I'm gonna say 0 to 29. I'm gonna say about, yeah, about there. Spring season of life. Okay. Then we move into our summer season of life. Now, summertime is not for resting. That's not rest time. Summertime is when you work. Unless you know how this system works against just trying to just rewire all our brains. Because what happens in school? We go on summer break, but that ain't the time to vacation, right? Now that is the time to work. You go in the scriptures, what it say, look at the ant, right? Pay attention to the ant. Like, you can learn some things from nature. So we're talking about nature right now, right? Seasons of life. So summer season of life, this is where, we have that, it's a different kind of energy, but it is that energy to, uh, really be out there to work. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Here's the thing about that, though. You got to get some rest in that. We're grinding. Like, I get it. I'm telling you, I was there. I did it with children and all. Okay. And I'm talking about, look, babies. I had teenagers and babies at the same time. And I'm, getting it, and team no sleep and all of that stuff. And then didn't realize that I was burning myself out. I was I caused some health issues that didn't have to be. And I'm talking about, like, the stress, the anxiety, um, type of depressive type of symptoms, damn near like bipolar acting, all of these things. Because what? Team no sleep. I gotta grind, 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 grind. And then this is the stuff that's being bombarded and all of that. Next thing you know, it was like I was freaking crazy. Like, straight up. I mean, the transparency. And I'm gonna go ahead and say the word bitchy. Not cool. Right? But didn't realize it was because I'm trying to burn the candles at both ends, or what have you say, that saying or whatever. And then thank goodness that, well, the bad part or I say the sad part was, and this is when where my, come to Yahshua moment, or come to Jesus moment, because my father passed away of cancer. And, I'm like doing my bit, my home business, and doing hair at the same time, from home, and um raising babies, and homeschooling, right? And married. It was just a lot, a lot. And then my father got sick, and then he passed away. And then there was some other stuff that was going on. And all of that, all at the same time, just crashing in. And I just remember sitting in the bathroom. I was just sitting there. Now, I wasn't using the bathroom, but I was just sitting in the bathroom. And I said, you know what? I need to go to therapy. I need to talk to somebody because I feel like I'm going crazy. And yeah, that's what I need to do. Right? I just remember saying that. Yeah, that's what I need to do. And I grabbed my cell phone and I called the number to see what healthcare provider was under my healthcare thing, and found somebody. I'm just like, I don't care who it is. I just need to go. It happened to be a place that was not too far from me, and I started going there. And then I got my diagnosis, and it was like, okay, it uh, wasn't bipolar. I was just gone, just gone, because I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't taking care of myself. You know, I'm trying to I'm trying to do a skill set that, I went to school and got licensure and all of that kind of stuff for, to have money in my pockets, right? And then fund a home-based business that I was doing at the same time. And it was going well, because at least I was getting some steady income from it. And then, taking that money and reinvesting it back into the business so that I could have like a kiosk stand somewhere, and people get to know me as the person there with the product, and just all of those things, and babies at the same time, like little ones and babies, homeschooling, and just all of that, all of that at the same freaking time, right? It was just a lot going on. And so I was taking care of everything. I would say that I was taking care of everything else, but not really. Not really. Why? I wasn't taking care of me. Now I sound like Coach Cotton. Now I sound like Coach Cotton. She was just talking about this earlier, right? I was not taking care of me. How? Like for real. How was I maintaining a business, right? Do How was I servicing my clients, maintaining a business, maintaining a relationship, maintaining my children, homeschool, uh, uh, attempting to serve in the Bible class that I was attending, all of that. How was I doing that and not taking care of me? And then had my father's condition on my mind, like, oh, I wish I was close, because he lived in another state. It's like, oh, I could help, because I know, what I could help him to do, with him wanting to go a more natural route with his um healing and everything. But I wasn't close. And I got my mind over there and stuff, and just me invisible, just gone. But how? Well, that's the thing. It wasn't being done. And that's the reason why I was, you know, my mind was just not there. So when the diagnosis did come, it was like, you are depressed. That's what you are experiencing, depression and anxiety. Like, because that is a lot that you have going on, ma'am. Yeah. Wasn't sleeping, wasn't really eating right, any of those things. And I look, and I was in health and wellness. How? Got to start here, right? And as I continued on, and it was like, okay, now I really have to, all of this stuff is like, okay, I know it, textbook, right? We know so many things, textbook, but are we doing it? Right? Are we doing it? What's that thing we all say? Practice what you preach. you know, practice what you preach. And that was one of the things I had to do, just being a licensed cosmetologist. How did I make it easier for myself when, let's say, marketing my business, right? Because we all market. We all, if we don't have a business, we market ourselves. How do we market ourselves? By how we present ourselves. Period. That's how. So if I was a licensed cosmetologist, what was the easiest way for me to attract clients? I could go and hand out my cards and all of that kind of stuff to anybody. But if I'm saying I do hair, that means I'm in the beauty industry. And I'm out here looking like a crackhead and my hair all over the place and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, here's my card. I do hair. Um, no, thank you, ma'am. I do not want your card. Right? I don't want your card. I don't want your flyer. I don't want nothing that you have. Like, it looks like you need, right? And so I knew, in order for me to easily, right, more easily to get clientele, look like I'm in the industry that I'm saying I'm in, right? Make sure my hair fly. Well, I will say this. There is something that we say as far as being a hairstylist. Like in the salon, it's this, just give you a tip. All right. Like when you walk in and you're looking for a stylist or whatever, the one that had their hair fried, dyed, and laid to the side, they might be new. It's like they might be new. And if they're not, they might be new, which means they may not have a clientele built up. They're not doing as much hair because they got too much time on their hands to get their hair done, to do their hair. Because the one that's really working, now her hair will look at least a little presentable. Most likely I'm gonna tell you what she's gonna look like. She's gonna have on a hat. Right? And look, that's why you probably see me wearing hats often. She's gonna have on a hat. Might have a little hair hanging out or something, a little ponytail or something like that. Or like, back in the day, the way to have our hair decent, at least decent and healthy looking, is if we was cold with the wraps. We did the wraps. You wrap that hair around, and then that way it's easier. You just go ahead and take your little rake comb and comb it out and this down, and boom, you look presentable, right? But the one that they did hair and their hair was just all, it's like, now I will say that's not always the case, but just regular weekday, most likely that's that's the one that's like the best stylist. Okay. And but I made sure that I had my hair at least nice and presentable looking when I was out somewhere. And I'm going about my day, making sure I have my cars and everything, because somebody was bound to say, "Ooh, you know, who do your hair? Your hair looks nice." Oh, I do. Really? Wow. Or, you got a card? Yes, here. Simple. But I had to look like the part. I had to present myself as the part. I had to be the part. I was my own product. So now in health and wellness, okay, how am I going to do that? Be that, talk about it, tell other people about it, or whatever. And I'm burning my own bridges, trying to get to the money. Because that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing. Attempting to get to the money. Funny thing is, when I did get the help, when I did seek therapy, when I did start practicing what I knew, I started practicing those very things that I at degrees and certifications and continuing education and all of that in. I started practicing that for myself. Guess what? I start implementing those habits. Go ahead and getting my sleep in, right? Getting the sleep in. Like I said, only 4 hours. I can't sleep no longer than 4 hours. I can't. That's the reason why I try my best to go to bed um as late as I can. And when I say as late as I can, I be holding on to try to get to 11. Try to get to 11, 12 o'clock, you know. But for the most part, by then, I'm out. I'm out. But I will be up by 3 or 4. And when I wake up, I have to make sure it's like, do not start working before you pray and meditate. I have to say that to myself every single morning. Do not start working before you pray and meditate, because I will work. But I found that when I did that first, right, I have this thing. I say spirit, self, family, and business in that order. Spirit, self, family, and business, because you cannot give from an empty cup. You can't. You just can't. Not your 100%, not your best. You just cannot do it. Spirit, self, family, and business. What does that mean? That means that first, I'm attend to my spirit. Spirit, energy. I talked about that first, right? The energy. Align with the energy. Meditate, pray, right? Meditate on the scriptures. These things, you know, what's the scriptures but the law? It's the law. So when I tend to that, I know when people are in alignment or when they're not. Principles are laws. And every principle and every law, even the principles of the wealthy, they got them from that book. They got them from the book. So you have to follow them. You got to follow them. Or else, okay, you got the stuff, you got the things, you got the money. Now your health is at stake. Now you got to spend all your money in order to try to get your health back. If you can. Don't do that. But when I started doing that and really aligning the way, that's like the scripture when it says, seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Health, wealth. What's wealth? Well-being. Your well-being, your wellness. When I started to do that, self-care, right? Spirit, self, tending to self, making sure that I was okay. I couldn't do anything for anybody else without me being straight. And it seemed selfish at first to everybody that I was tending to before tending to me. you know, and ooh, now that's a whole nother story. That's something else too, but it's like I let me give this to me. And when I did that, started to align, my therapist was even like, you you know what I'm saying? Like, you are progressing a lot quicker than most people I have seen in the condition that you were in, right? Because at first I was just diagnosed with the depression and anxiety. And then it became depression, anxiety, and PTSD. And then when I started utilizing the very tools that, I had the letters and the degrees and the certifications and all of that stuff in helping other people with the things that they would come to me for. It's like, let me use these tools for me. My therapist was able to say, what are you doing? Right? What are you doing? I see you progressing a lot quicker than I see most people progressing with the diagnosis that you have. And I'm like, this is what I'm doing. She said, keep doing it. Whatever you're doing, keep doing that. Thank you. Spirit, self, then family. Because if I'm better, guess what? The people that I'm supposed to be taking care of, better. Now they have to do that same thing for themselves too, right? They're not babies, okay? They're not babies. So it's teaching them those same things. So it's like, hey, self-care, you better take care of self. Don't, you're not a baby. So take care of self, right? Then business. Now I can pour into that. It's not the other way around. It's not. Because I'm telling you, later on down the line, again, especially, and them those are some crucial periods in your 30s, like that, when that grind kick, because that grind energy, it does kick in. It kicks in. But then when you have people telling you like, oh, team, no sleep and don't do this and you yeah. Or watch when you get about 40 something, 50 something, and then these health conditions start. It's like, hey, this came out of nowhere. No, it didn't come from out of nowhere. It came from back 10, 15 years ago. That's when it came. Yep. People wonder now I still consider myself I don't know the way now I have some aches and pains, I will say that, but again, I know how to take care of myself. But usually it's things like, I know too many people that have passed away already, um, you know, at our age, and we're not even that old. We're not even that old. Dying in their 20s and their 30s and 40s, and that's summertime season of life. So how you dying in your summer season? Now taking care of yourself. It's how we already got all of this kind of crazy Franken food around, not really drinking enough water, not getting the exercise and everything that we need, but more so rest. That's what we're really not doing, resting. Thank goodness for COVID. I know a lot of people lost a lot of people during COVID, and because they had some underlying conditions and things like that. But listen, that was a time where Yahweh just said, I'm finna shut this down because people need to rest. They are breaking the law of rest. You better do it. You better do it. It is an important part of health. That is when the body heals. When we sleep, that is when the body heals. Don't tell nobody to do that. That's when, so when you going to get your healing? So that you do have the power to get wealth. Like the book say. It said, don't think that you did this on your own and by yourself, because if that was the case, you could have got your butt up out of Egypt, but you didn't. Argue with the book, not me, right? He said, and then we're going to close this out. Listen, we can't talk wealth without health. It's well-being. Deuteronomy chapter. Now I'm going to read this whole chapter. Chapter 8. All the commandments which I command you this day, you shall observe to do, that you may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which Yahweh sware to your fathers. I'm reading from the Holy Name Bible. And you shall remember all the way which Yahweh your Elohim led you these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble you and to prove you and to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or no. And he humbled you and suffered you to hunger. You didn't suffer yourself to hunger. We didn't suffer ourselves to hunger. He said, I led you through this way for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here we go. That man that does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahweh does man live. Raiment or your clothing, that's what that means. Your clothing wax not old, neither did your foot swell these 40 years. You shall also consider in your heart that as a man chastises his son, so Yahweh Elohim chastise you. Therefore, you shall keep the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, to walk in his ways and to revere him. For Yahweh your Elohim brings you into a good land, a land of brooks and water, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land olive olive oil and honey, a land wherein you should eat bread without scarceness. You shall not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are iron, and out of those hills you may dig brass. When you have eaten and are full, then you shall bless Yahweh your Elohim for the good land which he has given you. Beware that you forget not Yahweh your Elohim, and not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command you this day, lest when you have eaten and are full and have built goodly houses and dwell therein, and when your herds and your flocks multiply, and your silver and your gold is multiplied, and all that you have is multiplied, then your heart be lifted up, and you forget that Yahweh your Elohim, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, who led you through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water, who brought you forth out of the, who brought you forth water out of the rock of flint, who fed you in the wilderness with manna, which your fathers knew not, that he might humble you and that he might prove you to do you good at your latter end. And you say in your heart, my power and the might of my hand have gotten me this wealth. Don't do it. But you shall remember Yahweh your Elohim, for it is he that gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he sware unto your fathers, as it is this day. And it shall be, if you do at all forget Yahweh your Elohim, and walk after idols, and serve them, and worship them, I testify you against you to this day, that you shall surely perish. As the nations which Yahweh destroyed before your face, so shall you perish, because you would not be obedient unto the voice of your Elohim. I ain't write it. I wasn't born at that time. Matter of fact, I'm about to celebrate my 46th birthday on Friday. This was written long before 40 years ago. So I'm just saying, what was just said. I did it. I did it. Right? I'm not gonna act like I didn't. I did. And I've seen other people do it and lost it. Lost it all. Lost their health, lost and everything that they worked for. Because what they did work for and didn't get sleep over and all of that kind of stuff, they had to turn around and use that to attempt to pay medical bills or vitamins, or I mean not vitamin medications, all of that stuff. I'm gonna tell you who not gonna do it. Me. 4 hours. I'm going to bed. And then I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna pray to the Father and I'm gonna ask, what will you have me do this day? You said, because he gonna look, if his word will not return to him void, I'll go back in that book and I say, you said that you give us power to get wealth. That is spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, mentally, physically, socially, financially, materially. That's what you said. Wealth is wellness, it's wholeness, it's whole. I need all 8 levels to be whole. And what will you have me do? And in the timing that you say that it's done. Now I'm gonna get it done, right? I'm gonna get it done, but in your timing, just have me on your timing. I'm in alignment with, right? And so I'm not gonna tell people that. And I have to be, because I'm responsible, very responsible for that. Especially, I mean, look, I know what I was sent to school for, right? I can't tell nobody else that. I can't tell nobody that. Like, you better drink your water. You better get you some exercise in. I don't care if you walk, run, skip, jump, jumping jacks, whatever. Get you some activity in, yoga, some movement, but get your water, take your vitamins and minerals, eat your balanced meals that you need to have and eat, and all of that good stuff. And look, I'm gonna be the first to say I need to get back at it, because I have been working entirely too freaking much. And I won't say too much. I have. And I'm not eating right. I done ate more fast food than I have ever eaten in my entire life. And that's not good, right? Look, That, you know, that's crazy. That's crazy. Look, when I did have a link card, I ate healthier. Now I don't have one, ain't had one, I don't know how long. Man, I DQ and pizza and that, and I know better than that. I know better than that. I know freaking better, right? But knowing better and actually doing it, you got to marry the two. That's pretty much what that is. You gotta marry the two. And so I gotta get back at, look, slow down. Um, Cook your meals you know you're supposed to have, or if you're not gonna cook them, find somebody to find somebody to cook them, pay somebody to cook them if you don't have the time to cook these meals, or I don't know, some kind of, they got some kind of thing where they deliver healthy meals. But see, that's the thing about it with me. I got a house full, you know, that I'm not feeding 2, 3, 4 people. It's how many? It's 7 of us in here. I already got to do that times 7. Anyway, listen, your health is your wealth. The power comes through your body. You pray for power, right? Pray for power. Because that's what he said. I give you power to get wealth. Pray for power. Power is the ability to, but you have to be able-bodied, and you have to have the energy in order to do it. You just do. Or else some things are gonna start acting crazy. Your mind and all. Trust me. Close out. All right. My connection's acting up. But anyway, I'm out. That's it for today. That I put, okay, let me put this banner up here real quick again. So we'll be back later on today for the Coach's Corner. And on the Coach's Corner, I'll tell you about the party. Everybody's invited. Why is everybody invited? Because I'm gonna stream it. It's gonna be streamed. It's a house party. You know, it's like, not like I'm having 50,000 people in my house. I'm not. It's just the people that live here. But we're gonna do like a late 80s, early, well, not late 80s, early 90s, but late 80s, but 90s hip hop party on Friday. I put the flyer, I posted the flyer on my social media things, but we'll talk about it. I'll mention it again on the Coach's Corner because I want you all to come zoom in. Oh, and oh my gosh, my brother is going to be the DJ. I'm so excited about that because, like, first of all, it didn't even, I was not thinking about having any type of party or anything at all. I usually, like, you know, go out, hey, let's go out, go somewhere nice to eat and you know, shop or whatever. And you know, that's just what I do. So it didn't come to me until like Monday, like, hey, why don't you do a 90s hip hop Zoom party? Like, okay. And then I just started writing down the playlist of music and everything. And then it came to me today when I was making the flyer and posting it, and I was like, dang, that would have been real good to have my brother the DJ, but it's like last minute because this would be Friday. Today is Wednesday. So of course, when I posted it and you know I shared it with my family and all of that good stuff, you know, my brother was like, well, it's not like I can't DJ it. And I'm like, I thought it was kind of last minute. You might have had something to do because you know he be doing this thing. He be traveling and all of that kind of stuff. So since he's available, DJ Scripts will be in the building. So I'm excited about that. Like, thank you, brother. So yeah. Anyway, you all are invited. All right. So see you in the coach's corner in a couple of hours. Okay. You all have a wonderful day. See you on the coach's corner. Peace.